Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we are checking in for the third week of January from the 15th to the 21st. And today is now the 29th, so I'm a little late with this, very late with this, but I still wanted to go ahead and at least do the check-in because the fourth week is going to be from the 22nd to the 31st. The planner that I have with me is the Erin Condren monthly planner. This is the 7x9 monthly planner. And this is my January spread. So I already have all of the expenses written down for the 15th to the 21st. So let's pull up our app. And then the app we're going to use is the same one as usually. It is going to be the daily budget app. And I will have a video below as usually describing how our accounts are set up along with the apps that I like to use for a budget. So the daily budget app, let's go to our transactions and let's go to the 15th. For the 15th, we have several expenses. For the icons for this app, they all symbolize different categories that I have set up. Eating out, groceries, gas allowance, pup/baby. I have the grocery cart for groceries, the gas for gas, and the fork and knife for eating out. So those are three categories we have spent. And they're all on the 15th. For those categories, we have gas, groceries, and eating out. So those are these three colors. The first one for groceries, we spent $108 at Wegmans because we did not grocery shop for like the longest time. So we finally got our butts out there to grocery shop since we tend to I feel like we never leave the house ever since we had our daughter. So it's kind of a blessing, but then at the same time, I feel like when we do go out, we spend so much money. But the second thing that we spent was on gas. We spent $37 on gas. I feel like on gas, we've definitely spent a lot of money this month because I think we're actually in the negatives right now, but we'll talk about that later. And that is that green color. Then we have the pink color for eating out. We got Five Guys and also Panera. I wasn't feeling so well this day, but we still wanted to grocery shop. And after we grocery shopped, we didn't want to cook. I mean, usually after you grocery shop, you want to cook with the foods, but we just decided to while we were out, just to pick up dinner. So I got some soup and Dustin got a burger from Five Guys. So next we have nothing spent on the 16th. On the 17th, this is a little shopping bag is what I used for allowance category. So that was, we purchased Monopoly Deal. Allowance is this blue color. And I do apologize if I sound a little stuffy. I'm starting to feel under the weather, but I wanted to get this video recorded. So here I am. But we got Monopoly Deal, and this was because, I don't know if you guys watched my last video, but I've been watching SPC Andrea's videos a lot, and she was talking about Monopoly Deal. I really enjoy this game. Actually, we've been playing it really often, so I'm really happy that we got this. But that is from our allowance category. Then from the 19th, we did not spend anything. Oh, 18th, we didn't spend anything. 19th, this little house icon is what I use to symbolize sinking funds. So for sinking funds, we did end up paying for Beanie's hospital bills. Beanie is what we call our baby. We've always called her that ever since she was like, we first saw her little ultrasound as a little bean. But that's kind of where she got her nickname from. But we paid for her medical bill, and that was $381. I already wrote that down in our sinking funds. The next thing that we have, nothing on the 20th. 21st, we have two more eating out categories for Germantown and Nando's. So those two are from the eating out categories as well. I accidentally ended up writing more expenses for like this upcoming week. This is actually going to be it for the week that we're currently checking in on. So we can check in for the rest of the following week. But this day we went on a little food hunt. We went to Germantown and got some food from a couple of different places. And we also got some food from Nando's. We really wanted their chicken and some of their sides. But that is actually it for the week that we are checking in for. So let's put down these non-spent stickers. I have some leftovers from the month of December. It looks like we're doing well, so I'm going to go ahead and just continue using the ones for January. So I have a non-spent on the 20th, one on the 19th, one on the 18th, and then another one on the 16th. This month might be the most non-spent stickers I've had ever since the pandemic started. I think the month that the pandemic started, we only spent money on for like 7 days out of the whole month. That is for this week, so let's go ahead and check in. First, let's actually roll for Savopoly before I forget as well. So we're gonna go ahead and flip to the back to our set of Savopoly spread. So let's go ahead and use our dice app. So I have it set to 2 dice, and we're going to go ahead and roll right now. Our little dot is over here. So let's do 3 times. So this is 10. Let's peel this up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chest. Okay, so for chest, it looks like it says roll dice and treat yourself to that amount. But because if you guys watched my last week's check-in, I ended up moving my Savopoly to an actual savings account, so I don't want to withdraw from it. So instead, I'm actually going to just roll the dice, and whatever the number that lands on, I'm going to save that amount. And I pass go and it says to collect $10, but I don't want to transfer out of savings. I really do want to save this year, so I'm actually going to save an additional $10. Since we pass go, instead of collecting $10, I'm going to save $10. And then let's also roll for the chest. So this looks like it's 8, so we're gonna save an additional $8. This is just kind of how I want to do it. When I first made this, like I did want to have like some positives in there for the collect 10 and the treat yourself. So I want to customize it a little bit more for myself, as in like I do want to just save for everything. I don't have this in shop yet. I will probably release it next month because I do want to look for some tokens to add on here, so you guys don't have to like look for random dots like I did. So that means so far we have $18 that we're going to be saving. That's our first roll. Let's go ahead and roll again. That's 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Save $6. That's plus 6. $24. And this is our last roll. We have 11. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Looks like we're on chest again. So we're going to roll to save. And we are going to save $9 more. So that's plus 9. We are saving $33 in total for Savopoly for this week. So let's write that down. We're saving $33 and we are so late. What is today's date? Today is the 29th. This was week 1, week 2, week 3. This is also 3 rolls. We're putting this in our Savopoly savings, and I don't know how I didn't realize this beforehand, but I'm supposed to be adding this. So I removed the T's over here because I should be writing the T's over here for transferred. And then on this side is actually the total. So I don't know how I didn't notice that. But 19 plus 65 is $84 that we have as an end amount for savings. And then 84 plus 33 is $117 that we should have in this savings account. And we will transfer this after we balance out, but that is now the Savopoly. Now let's go ahead and do our check-in portion. I went ahead and wrote every category down for eating out, groceries, gas allowance, and pops. These are those categories that we calculated for the beginning of January. Eating out, groceries, gas allowance, pups, and baby. And these are also the ones that we just checked in for the month. Since these, like I always say, would be my physical cash envelopes if we did use cash. Since we are cashless, that's kind of how I separate out those categories. And down here are the bills. So let's go ahead and check in. Let's do gas first, since this one is only one gas item. So that was $37. Gas, we spent, nothing rolled over, and we did spend $37. Then we have one color for allowance, which is $7 for Monopoly deal. Allowance is $7. For pups and baby, that's this purple category. Nothing was spent. Wegmans, we spent $108. That is the only grocery color for that blue, or the frosty blue. That was $108. Nothing for babies category. And then last for eating out, we have a few categories. So I have 18 plus 19 plus 27 plus 27 That in total equals to $91. And that is now every category that is checked in. Now let's calculate how much we have remaining. So for eating out, we had $270. That minus 91 that we spent equals $179 remaining for the month. Groceries, we had $349. That minus the 108 equals $241 left over for groceries. For gas, we had $69. That minus 37, that equals $32 remaining for the month. And then allowance, we had $100. That minus $7 is $93 for the month. Pups, we still have $100 for pups and baby since nothing was spent. So now that these categories are now checked in, let's go ahead and check in for all of our categories so we can balance out our checking account. So let's take a look at our checking account currently. So this is what the number that we left off with last month for how much was in our short-term savings and our checking account. We currently have 2 checking accounts and we have 2 savings accounts. These 3 accounts, this savings, these 2 checkings are all in the same institution. This long-term savings is in a different bank. In the video I'll have linked below explaining the apps that we use, also explains how our accounts are, and an in-depth explanation for how each one works and correlates with each other. But yes, but let's go ahead and actually just balance everything out, and then we'll come back to see, double check the numbers, because this one's different because we got some extra paychecks. So we put the paycheck money in here, and then for this one is different because we had some bills come out. But we'll talk about these categories and the amounts more in a second. Let's just balance this out first for a second. So for the monthly budget categories, which are these ones that we just checked in for, and this section right here, we spent whatever total this is. I'm gonna go ahead and add these up. So 91 plus 108 plus 37 plus $7 equals $243. That was actually a lot that we spent this week. Definitely the most that we spent the entire month, since like the first week we spent 51, second week we only spent 61. That is fine. We started with $888, so that minus the 243 equals $645 left over for the month. Now let's do the sinking funds, because I believe sinking funds there's only like one thing. I realized that I wrote Bean's medical bill twice on here. I guess I didn't realize I already entered it, so I'm gonna remove one of them. Okay, that's better. So we have the one medical bill. Gifts and treating, this was on the 22nd, and we're not checking in for that week yet, so I'm gonna leave that there. For sewer and water, I want to see when this came out. This comes out of our credit card. So let me actually do the bills first, just to make it easier. Let me go back. Let me just go ahead and just check in for bills. So let's just do bills, and we'll do sinking funds last. So for bills, we still had remaining bills cut to come out. So we still had the gas that needed to come out, electric, internet, mortgage, and Spotify. So let me go ahead and check our credit card along with our second checking account to see if any bills came out, since our second checking account is what's hooked up to some of these bills, and some of them is hooked up to our credit card so we can get rewards on it. All right, so I checked the accounts. We had 2 bills that came out from our checking account for the electric, and then we also had our gas come out of our credit card. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. But what were we talking about? Oh, so we were talking about the bills that came out. So for our mortgage and electric, those came out of our checking account, and then we have our gas that came out of credit card. The reason why we have them coming out of different areas, it would be a lot easier if everything just came out of the checking account or everything came out of the credit card, but we prefer to have things come out of the credit card because we get 2% cash back on everything. Some of the things we don't have hooked up to the credit card because there's some type of fee associated with it. Like, I think it's mortgage. I can't remember because we hooked all this stuff up a while back, like years ago. We should probably call to see if anything's changed, but I believe it was like a 3% fee. So if we had it hooked up to credit card, even though it's 2% cash back, we still end up paying like a percent for fees. So it kind of didn't make sense. So some of these bills charge you a different penalty if you have it hooked up to a credit card. So that's why we only have the ones that don't charge a fee hooked up to credit card, so we can get 2% cash back. Since we're paying the bill anyway, we'd rather just get something back for it. It doesn't hurt. Every dollar adds up. So that's why we have it from different areas. But let's go ahead and add these all together. So you guys know I'm very visual. I have the ones that are just a slash are the ones that's from this week, and we did not check those in yet. For mortgage, gas, electric, we're gonna go ahead and add these all up. So we have 2222 plus 136.59 plus the last one, which is electric, which is 41.79. So, and that is 2,438 cents that came out for this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross these all off since we just checked them in. So the remaining two that we have is just for Spotify and internet to come out. And of course we have our holder. This is just so we have an even number. So we know we need $31.50 for bills for the month. But let's go ahead and check in for bills. That was 2,438 cents that came out for bills. We had a starting amount of $25.07.94. So that minus the bills that came out, we have a remaining amount of $107.56 left over for bills, and that should be enough. So now let's go ahead and do our sinking funds. And I did check for sinking funds, and the sewer and water came out on the 19th. The only one that we're not going to check in for is the one from the 22nd. So let's add the stuff for let's add the sinking funds that came out for this week, the third week, which is for medical for $381. And for sewer and water for $137. $381 plus $137 equals $518 that came out. I'm gonna go ahead and check those two off since we checked those in. And of course, this one doesn't have a check because we're gonna check it in for next week instead. But that is $518 that came out of sinking funds. And we had a starting amount of $4,600 from the previous week. That minus the $518 equals the remaining amount of $4,082 left over in our sinking funds category. So now let's go ahead and do the transfers. So we try to pay with absolutely everything with our credit card to not only just gain that cash back amount, but to also make sure we build our credit, because we want to have a really nice credit, especially in this day and age. I feel like credit's really important. So I want to make sure that we build a good credit so we can add our babies on there, and that credit history we can share with them so they can have somewhat of a credit history built up as well. Even if we add them as like an authorized user, that credit history will still show for them. So that's kind of why we want to make sure that our financial picture is good. That's really the primary reason why we keep using credit card. And it's just easy as well, because like if there's fraud or something on it, for example, it's not actually our money taken out, because we can always just dispute it. I'm trailing off right now. I have no idea why, but let's go ahead and get right back into it. Before we calculate this, I actually really quickly, before I forget, because I feel like I keep forgetting, I want to cash out for our for our credit card. So I'm gonna do our credit card rewards, and we expected 0 because I wasn't planning on cashing out, but we might as well cash out now. So let me see how much in rewards we have, and I'm gonna transfer. So currently for the rewards we have is $171.84. I'm gonna make it an even number, and I'm gonna transfer $170. Yeah, we're gonna transfer this over to our, where should I put this? I'm gonna transfer this, I'm gonna put this here. So the $170, I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it to our primary checking account. And this is like the account where like outgoing money goes. Like if we will have to go pay a credit card, if we make a transfer to a savings account, or like our external one, anything that is like spent money already, because like anything in here, I'm just figuring that it's gonna go somewhere. Like especially because I do my checkings on the weekends, and if like Monday's a holiday, the money doesn't actually go out from this account until like Tuesday or sometimes a Wednesday, and I just don't want to keep having to calculate out or see money that's not really supposed to be there anymore, because it confuses the heck out of me. So whatever money that's in here, I consider it already gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer the 170 into this account, because this is the only account that's hooked up to that credit card. And once it's in there, I'm gonna transfer that 170 over to our Savopoly account, which I have in a different institution. Basically, it's gonna go into, this is our Ally savings tracker. And next month, I'm gonna have a Savopoly category here. that is gonna have like the funds in there. So 170 is gonna get transferred to Savopoly. So far we have 117. I'm gonna put 170. I'm gonna put this arrow because it's all going to the same place. I don't want to keep writing it every single week. I'm not gonna put a T there yet because we haven't transferred it yet, and I don't like I seriously am one to forget. So I'm just not gonna put a T there. And we'll do, this is from credit card rewards. Now that I'm looking at this transaction log is not long enough. This transaction log is not long enough for spins every single week. I think starting next month, I might do bi-weekly rolls because this is not long enough for the whole year. I mean, worst case scenario, I have extra pages back here, so I can always just put another savings tracker back here and another Savopoly log. I don't know. Well, let's see where we go. But for right now, this is not long enough, but it's okay. Okay, I just did it again. This is not 170. So that means 117 plus 170 equals $287 that we have in our savings tracker for Savopoly. But this one is not transferred yet. I'm assuming I'll probably just do this on camera because it's already the 29th and I have to do the week 4 check-in in a few days. So if I don't transfer it beforehand, I'll just do this on camera with you guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and go back. I honestly don't know how we got to that other topic, but let's go ahead and talk about this. For our monthly budget and for our sinking funds, both of these come out of our credit card. Everything from our monthly budget categories and every transaction we make from our sinking funds, they come out of our credit card. That means we still have the cash in our second account that holds the monthly budget amounts for bills, sinking funds, and monthly budget. All of these categories are in that one checking account. Of course, you can have a separate checking account for each, but I personally just am used to having it all in one account now. Let's add 243 plus the 518. So we have 243 plus 518. Oops. 243 plus 518. That equals $761. So let's go ahead and transfer over $761 from our second checking account that has those funds over to our primary checking account because we're going to pay that credit card. So because again, anything that is in this first checking account that we have is used to pay our credit card, is used to transfer over to our external checking account, is used for any outgoing money. We're going to transfer it over. Okay, so those funds are now transferred. Let's go and do our bills now. So for our bills, we have a total of $2,400. The reason why we're not transferring the whole thing is because some of it already came out of our checking account. So the electric one and the mortgage, these are hooked up to our checking account. So these funds already came out. The $2,222 and the $4,179, those already are out of the account because they're already hooked up to the checking account. The only one that is not hooked up to our checking account is the gas. The $136.59 came out of our credit card. So that means that money is still in this account. So we have to transfer over the $136.59. Because remember, for this week, the only 3 bills that came out is gas, electric, and mortgage. And mortgage and electric are already taken out of this checking account because those are hooked up to this checking account. So the gas that came out of our credit card, we still have, so we have to transfer that over to our primary checking account so we can pay that credit card. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer over $136.59 over from our second checking account to our primary, and I will be right back. Okay, so that is now transferred. I realized this also comes out of credit card. I guess I forgot to put that. But yeah, so the only 2 bills left for the month is just for Spotify internet, and we'll check that in next week. So now everything's good. We already took care of the sinking funds in the monthly budget categories, and we just took care of the bills together. So let's go ahead and now calculate. Actually, before we add this up, let me actually tell you guys right now how much is in our second checking account and also how much is in savings. So I'm gonna put these on this. Well, I don't really know if it matters, but I'm just gonna put these 2 sticky notes. So right now in our short-term savings, we have $5,687.99. And then for our second checking account, we have $4,834.62. I believe we got 2 paychecks since then, right? Let me see. For my mini months, I need to do highlight the paychecks in here because that'll probably make my life easier. But I'm pretty sure since the last time we checked in, I had the paycheck on the 27th and then the paycheck on the 18th. So that's 2 paychecks. Okay, my sticky notes are very old, so they will not stick. I'm having a problem right now. But so we have our original amount that was a 3,000 plus 1,300 plus 1,300. That equals to, yeah, so that's right. So 5687.99. That's with all of the paychecks accounted for the month of January. So we're looking good. So that means we're good to go for the month of February, since now we have all of our funds ready for the month of February. So all the income that comes in for February will be the budget for March. But now we have all the money good to go for February. And I actually have to do that video next. I don't know if it will be today because I still have to get orders out. I'm really behind, guys, really behind. But I still have to get orders out, so I'm hoping to get that video up by Thursday or Wednesday. We'll have to see when I can get it out. Now let's talk about this second checking account. So let's go ahead and add these up. So we have 645 plus the 107.56 plus the 40.82. That equals to $4,834.56. And I'm realizing I probably got interest. Let me double check the interest. Okay, so I got 6 cents of interest. So that's why there's a slight difference. Normally, I remember to transfer the 6 cents of interest out, but I think I'm just gonna put it here. Interest. Will that make sense if I put it there? We got 6 cents of interest. That plus this plus 0.06 cents of interest is equal to how much we have in our checking account right now in that second checking account. So $4,834.62. So that means we're looking good. Everything is calculated. So another way that we can also balance it out, because these numbers added up equals to that. Right now, this is the current amount in our checking account, is if we look at what we had previously. This is the previous amount from last week, so I'm actually gonna just remove that. We can also calculate this like we did last time too. So 7,995.94, that minus the 243, minus we spent for bills is 2,438. Did I do minus yet? Minus 2,400.38. minus 518. That also equals, well, we also got 6 cents of interest, so we're gonna do plus 0.06 for the cents, and that also equals to 48.34.62. So that is all accounted for, and that is how I know that. Okay, this is gonna like drive me crazy. I need something to stick this. I'm like using these leftover stickers to stick these on here because they keep coming off. But that is gonna be it for this check-in video. So we have the ending amount for short term, and then we have the ending amount for our second checking. And of course, our next week's check-in video, we will check in everything again together. And for the February budget with me, we're gonna go ahead and transfer some money out of this together as well. But we're gonna go ahead and close this off. That is what we're gonna end with. And I feel like I'm like missing some explanations. I definitely feel like I'm missing some explanations, but I can't think of what they are. So if I'm missing anything, or if you have any questions, let me know. I know last week's check-in for week 2 was a lot clearer. So definitely feel free to check that video out as well. That one was a lot smoother with the flow of things. But I hope you guys still enjoyed it nonetheless. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!